I have a movie review, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to talk about Red Sonja. A lot of people might not even realize this movie even came out, but it came out about a month ago, about 3, 4 weeks ago, I believe, sometime over in July. It came out, and it was a very, very limited release movie, and it didn't have the biggest budget, but I really want to talk about this movie because I've been covering this movie for a very, very, very long time here on this channel. This movie has been in development hell for a long time, for almost a decade, if not longer. This movie has just been going from different creators to, I believe, Robert Rodriguez and what was her name? Rose McGowan was supposed to do this back in 2009. So this goes back a long, long time. And I remember that the director Brian Singer was actually attached to this about a decade ago as well. So this movie, this property has really been bouncing around Hollywood, and it felt like no one could actually get a handle on how to make this movie. And this movie I was very worried about because I didn't know how much of modern audience influence they were going to add to this. Are they going to Red Sonja should be the epitome of what feminists want, if that makes any sense. Because she's a strong protagonist who doesn't rely on men, but at the same time, she is really, really sexy. And I am a fan of Gail Simone's Red Sonja in the comics. If you guys don't know, Red Sonja is a comic line. And right now, I believe Dynamite is doing the Image book, and Gail Simone did my favorite run of Red Sonja. I owned every one of Gail Simone's issues and the Jenny Ferguson covers. This isn't a Jenny Ferguson cover that I'm showing you, but I had every Jenny Ferguson variant cover. I got to meet Gail Simone a few years back at a comic book convention, had some conversations with her, really enjoyed her work. She has done other stuff, but I really like her Red Sonja run. And I've been a fan of the character for a long, long time. And I really wanted to see this movie be successful after so many, for being basically in development hell for so long, going through so many different creators. If you guys are new to the channel, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot and it helped build out the channel. Yeah, so I really was looking forward to this movie. I wanted to go see this in theaters. I did a trailer reaction to it, and you guys can go back and check out my videos where I talked about Brian Singer being put on board and all this stuff. So I did a trailer reaction to it, and the trailer reaction did okay, but I figured a lot of people really didn't care about what I thought about Red Sonja. And I wanted to go see this movie in theater, but unfortunately, it had such a limited release that I live in a big city. And I could not find that. I live in Central Florida. I live in Orlando. I live right next to Disney, Universal, everything. And I could not find a showing for this movie anywhere. So I had no choice but to wait for it to come out on VOD, and I was able to watch it there. And let's just talk about the overall movie itself before I get into what I feel about the film. And is it worth any of your time? Like, is it worth anything? Well, the actress who starred in this movie is Matilda Lutz, and she played in one of my favorite movies is Revenge. I think this is a highly, really underrated film. I love this movie. Like, Matilda, she is beautiful, she's sexy, and she's badass. And this is a revenge movie. Revenge is a revenge movie, title, no pun intended, but it is. The title means exactly what the movie is. It's a revenge film. It's a lot like I Spit on Your Grave, where bad things happen. She goes out to the desert with her boyfriend. His friends come over. Bad things happen. Fill in the blanks. Use your imagination. She is left for dead, and she goes on like a Rambo First Blood killing spree. And it's awesome, and she's awesome in it. She's badass, she's sexy, everything. So when that trailer came out and I found out she was playing Red Sonja, man, sign me up. Like, just sign me up. I am so down for it. So what is the overall plot of this film? Well, Red Sonja, without giving away too many spoilers, I don't want to get deep into spoilers, but I do want to tell you guys what this movie's about. Red Sonja is a nomad. She's basically a wanderer, and she's looking for the rest of her people. Something happens at the beginning of the movie. She's looking for the rest of her people, and she gets captured, and she's basically put into this arena to for more or less just be entertainment to this little self-proclaimed king who owns half of this novel, this book, half of this book that has like all these different like things in it that allows you to create certain things. And like, I'm trying to be very vague, but he has like half of a book, and the other half is part of Red Sonja's tribe that was completely massacred and left for dead and all that. And he's looking for the other half of this book. And the first half allows him to do like scientific experiments, like controlling cyclopses and doing all kinds of weird stuff. And that book allowed him to rise to power, because this guy was nothing, and he became king. And well, a self-proclaimed king because of all the knowledge in that book. And he's using that book to his advantage, and he starts going around basically just taking out anybody that would oppose him, other kings, other people of power, imprisoning them and making them fight in this gladiator type arena. The movie, for the most part, all takes place within that gladiator type arena. It does expand out in the third act of the film, but when you start to watch this movie, you realize that the budget isn't as big as it should be for this type of film. And that might be a reason why Robert Rodriguez and a lot of other people weren't able to get the project off the ground, is because the budget's not there. Now, I knew looking at the trailer that the budget was pretty low. Like, this was a low budget movie. And be honest with you, I was concerned about that. I was like, oh man, when I click on this, when I go to press play, is this gonna feel like a YouTube movie? Is this gonna feel like a fan movie? I was very worried about that, because sometimes you get low budget movies and they don't feel like low budget movies. And then you get like other low budget movies and you're like, I feel like someone on YouTube, I feel like I could have directed that. Like, that's how bad it looked. Which was I going to get for Red Sonja? Which version was I going to get for Red Sonja? And I'm happy to tell you that I feel like they took whatever budget they had and they made the best out of this movie. Because this movie looks gorgeous. The fight scenes, the choreography, the little bit of CGI that they had looked really cool. The Cyclops stuff looked a little wonky, but this is why I'm okay with the Cyclops stuff. I grew up in an era before CGI where we had stop motion models to do those type of effects. I grew up in the old Clash of the Titans and the Odyssey type films, those giant sandal epics where we had stop motion for everything. So when I saw that Cyclops scene, I was like, oh, like, yeah, I can tell it's bad CGI, but for some reason, I kind of feel like there's a charm. Like, I felt very nostalgia. I felt like I was watching like an old school Clash of the Titans type movie. And I was like, oh, I'm really digging this. It has like a little charm on it. And, even though I could tell it was bad CGI, the way the Cyclops moved reminded me of when I was a kid and I was watching Clash of the Titans. And I'm not talking about the new Clash. I'm talking about the old school Clash of the Titans, where it was stop motion with figures and it wasn't great looking, but it has a certain charm to it. And that's what I felt with this movie when it came to the Cyclops. There was other scenes in this movie I was actually like, are they going to give her outfit? And they do. She comes out in her outfit, the one outfit that is very known for her, like the very skimpy, like chainmail bra and like garb underneath. Like, she comes out in that. She has like 2 or 3 different outfits in this movie. She comes out in that classic outfit the first time she goes battle in an arena, and like, she's wearing practically nothing. It's just a chainmail bikini. And I am just really happy as a fan of Red Sonja that they did that. And then as she started winning inside the pit, inside the gladiator arena, she was able to upgrade her armor. So then the next time we see her, she's a little more covered. Like, she has shoulder pads, and she has like more of a metal skirt rather than the bikini, but it looks awesome. And it's just like, I'm like, yes. And Matilda just embodied the badassness of this role. And one of my favorite scenes happens toward the third act of the film, where Red Sonja crosses over. Like, she crosses over and she becomes like Killer Instinct version Red Sonja, comic book Red Sonja. Like, her hair was red at the beginning of this movie, but it was more of like a natural red, where it's like more orangey than red, like a natural ginger hairstyle. At the end of this movie, when she crosses over, her hair becomes like pure blood red, like from the comic books, like pure blood red. And it looked absolutely phenomenal. Like she goes straight beast mode at the end of this movie when she crosses over and she unlocks like her full potential, her full power. Like, she comes out, she's got like the warrior face paint on, her hair is bright blood red, and she's just massacring fools. And then like with any movie, you kind of have like a reveal of who this self-proclaimed king actually is. And it's just a really good time. I had a really, really good time for a weekend movie that I put on with very low expectations, thinking, what am I going to get? Am I going to get a low budget dumpster fire, or am I going to get, something that actually feels like they put effort into it? I was very, very pleasantly surprised. And, I don't know what the reviews are. I didn't look up the reviews. I don't care. This is the type of film where I don't care what the reviews are, because as a fan of those comic books, I was going to watch this regardless. And when you add Matilda into it, like, I just love her as an actress. I was going to go see this thing anyway. Unfortunately, I was really concerned when no theater was playing it. Like, normally when there's a limited release of a movie, I at least have like 2 theaters around me living in a big city that is going to be playing that movie. But then, like, unfortunately, I ran into the problem that the movie just wasn't playing, and I had no choice to wait for VOD. Luckily for me, I only had to wait like 2-3 weeks. But I was trying to recommend this movie to my friends, where I definitely think it's worth picking up if you just want to watch a good weekend film. Like, if you are about my age and you grew up with the Clash of the Titans and the Odyssey films, and you just want to see like a sand and sandal type epic with a hot looking badass chick who does take no names, straight whoops up on people, and has that old school feeling of what we grew up with, and you enjoy the comic books, man, I definitely think this is a movie worth watching. I really, really do. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a sequel just because of, the limited release. I was actually surprised that they didn't cut a deal with Netflix or Amazon. This would have been a great movie to cut a deal with like Amazon or Netflix, put it on there. I think if this movie would have cut a deal with Netflix, it would have been trending #1. I don't know why they decided we're just going to kind of release this very quietly. A lot of people don't know about it. A lot of my friends I tell about, they're like, oh, that came out. And it's like, a lot of people don't know about it because of the limited release, because of the no marketing. It really didn't do the movie any favors. I really wish they would have cut a deal with some kind of streaming service. Like, we have so many different streaming services now, whether it be Peacock, Paramount, Amazon, Apple, Netflix. Like, you couldn't find anything to cut a deal with for this thing to be something, like, you could have cut a deal, because this movie deserves more exposure, in my opinion. But just to kind of wrap things up, I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of the Gail Simone run of Red Sonja, the comic books. This is a really good watch, in my opinion. I just had a good time just sitting back, enjoying it, and just having fun with it, and not really expecting too much, and being pleasantly surprised. So anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Red Sonja. Did you guys check it out? Did you even know? Did you guys check it out? I know y'all didn't check it out because nobody knew this movie was coming out. But if you're interested in checking it out, I do highly recommend it. Let me know if you plan on checking it out. If you guys are still sticking around, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.